This video will help define QAR, which stands for Question-Answer Relationships. It's important to know what type of question you're being asked so you can use the right strategies to get the answer. So although there are 4 types of QAR, they can be divided into 2 different categories. The first category is in the book QARs, which the answers are supplied by the author. The second category is in my head QAR, which means that the answers are based on the reader's ideas and experiences. Let's look at the 4 types of QAR. So if you look at your notes, you'll see that there are 4 different boxes. The first type of QAR is a right there question, which means that the answer is found in one sentence in the text. These are usually the easiest questions because it's supplied right in the text. It's right there. The second type of QAR is a little harder than right there. It's the think and search, which means that the answer may not be found just in one part of the text. It may be in several different sentences, and you have to search through the text to find the answer. So for a think and search, the answer is found in 1 or 2 sentences, and the reader has to make assumptions and put the answers together. So you have to use several parts of the text and link those ideas together. The third type of QAR is author and me. This means that you're using the text and you're using your own prior knowledge, which is what we call an inference. So again, the reader has to think about what they already know about this subject or topic and the information given from the text and put those together. It's kind of like a detective. You use all the clues that are given to you, and then you make inferences and conclusions based on those clues that you get and your own prior knowledge. The last type of QAR question is on my own. An on my own question will not have the answer in the text. In fact, you don't even really need the text to answer the question. So an on my own question is always going to be just your opinion. Let's look at a couple examples for a right there question. So remember, a right there question is going to have the answer in one sentence in the text. So let's say that your text is the story of Mary and the little lamb. So here's your text. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. So if that's all that you had and the question was, what color was the lamb? You could find that answer right in the text. So what color is the lamb, everybody? You should have said white because it's right there in the text. Those questions are usually the easiest questions that you can find. You just have to make sure that you find the correct answer in the text. Let's look at a think and search example. So remember, a think and search answer is found in 2 or more sentences, and the reader has to make assumptions and put the answer together. So here's our text. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. So that's the information that we have. Here's your question. What is the relationship between Mary and the lamb? Well, we have to put the information that we have together. It says that Mary had the lamb, and that everywhere Mary went, the lamb followed her. So if we put those together, our answer could be that Mary owns the lamb because it says she had the lamb, but the lamb enjoys spending time with Mary because it's following her around. So again, we take a couple different parts of the text and we put them together to make assumptions. Let's look at an author and me example. So remember, with an author and me, you're going to use your prior knowledge and information from the text, which is also known as an inference. So when we make inferences, we're using our prior knowledge and the text. Here's an example. So think about the text that we had before about Mary and the lamb. Why do you think the lamb follows Mary? Well, what would be your prior knowledge about an animal following another person? We know that the lamb is following Mary, so what's an inference that we can make about how Mary treats the lamb? Well, you could say that Mary probably treats the lamb very well. Maybe Mary feeds the lamb, maybe she gives the lamb extra attention. We can make that inference based on our prior knowledge of animals, and animals who like to be around people because the people treat them well. So again, we came up with that conclusion with our prior knowledge and the text. Here's an example of an on my own question. Remember, for on my own, the answer is not found in the text. The reader has to make connections to answer the question, and it can be answered without reading the text. On my own is your opinion. Here's an example. Why do some animals behave positively or negatively to certain people? So what are your thoughts? Why do some animals behave positively or negatively to certain people? Could you ask this question to anybody in our school and they wouldn't necessarily have had to read the text or heard of Mary Had a Little Lamb? Did you need the story to answer that question? If you don't need the text, then it's an on my own question. It's your opinion. So these are the 4 types of QAR questions. Make sure that your notes are filled out, and we'll be reading an article to test your knowledge on these 4 different types of questions.